Facebook has released one of the biggest campaign optimization updates perhaps since iOS 14.5. The changes that they released today are some of the biggest changes we've seen on the platform in literally years. So in today's video, I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to lay out the entire white paper. We're going to read through the most important parts of the white paper. And second, I'm going to break down how I see each of these changes playing out over the short term, long term. And I'm also going to show you how some of these features might already be present in other platforms you're familiar with. Finally, I'm going to break down what you need to do today to prepare for these changes. The article I will link down in the description below. It is called Campaign Optimization Updates to Improve Advertiser Performance. This first section here simply just states that they want us to deliver better results no matter what the conversion is. There's three portions to this entire white paper. First is defining the conversions businesses value most. Second is supporting new attribution models. And third is more powerful analytics integration. Defining the conversions businesses value most. Over the past years, we have taken steps to try and deliver more of the outcomes businesses value. For example, we've created new optimization options that allow advertisers to move from optimizing only for conversions to optimizing for value. What they're actually referring to here is the changes that they made to your performance goal in the last year. The performance goal section here used to just be maximize number of conversions without maximize value of conversions. This change, this value of conversions, has been a staple for the brands that we work with that have different variations of products and are ultimately trying to find more valuable customers. For most cases, we do actually select maximize value of conversions. However, when you select maximize value of conversions and you try to select an attribution setting, you actually can't select a view through setting, which makes things really tricky because we like that view through data. So what I'm more focused on is that they're actually going to be adding additional goals and that ways we can bid on goals based on the information that we know as business owners and not just the information that Facebook's trying to gather from the pixel. So digging in deeper, we plan to support optimizing for new definitions of value, such as profit or predicted lifetime value. That is huge. So what this is going to allow us to do is set our targets or potentially set our budgets or tell the pixel to optimize maybe even for profit. And how this is going to be done, we plan to expand our testing of a new feature called conversion value rules. This part might sound extremely similar. You notice here that they have conversion value rules capitalized. That means it's a definition somewhere in their book. Now, conversion value rules are not a new thing to advertisers. If you've ever advertised on Google Ads, you've seen conversion value rules. So I'm going to pop into a Google account and actually show you exactly what this looks like. And you click the segment button and you click conversions and click conversion action. You'll see that you may have multiple conversion actions working at the same time. In this case, it's important to note that I have different values associated for different conversions. So for this client in particular, we are tracking new conversions and repeat conversions. Because of that, we actually value the new conversion higher than the repeat conversion. In that case, I'm actually able to track and understand which of these conversions we actually focus on. We can track which of these conversions most of our spend is going to, which of these conversions we're driving more or less of. This is a really important distinction here. It's going to allow us to see a ton more data and actually really help us optimize our ads. So I love this change. Furthermore, it sounds like these are value rules, not just conversion value assignments, which is a huge difference here. Businesses can use this feature to express which audiences or conversions they value more or less, which we plan to then use to optimize their campaigns. Let's say you run an e-commerce store and you value a certain price on signing up for your email list. You could assign, based on what I'm reading, a value to a sign up per email list in the same campaign that you could assign a value for the purchase. So what this might tell you, for example, is that email list sign up might be worth $1 to you and the purchase will be worth however much the purchase is. So now Facebook could actually optimize and figure out there's this whole pocket of people here that are good for email signups. There's a whole pocket of people here that are good for purchases. Now, as a result, you don't have to have two separate campaigns running to different objectives. You could actually target the same person based on what they're most likely to do, which is going to open up our advertising pool. And ultimately, it's going to get us more value, which is actually going to help us tell the algorithm exactly how much to spend and how much people are worth. Moving to number 2, supporting new attribution models. First off, before we talk about what they're going to support, let's note that they made a bunch of changes in the last year to attribution models. Anytime that you go to your Facebook campaign and you click on columns and you scroll down to compare attribution settings, we're actually now able to see view conversions, click conversions, and different variations of click conversions. Furthermore, they added engaged view conversions here as well. And then finally, we did see the introduction of third-party reporting as an individual breakdown. It's always been available. This section was updated very recently. What I love to do, I love to see and optimize based on a 7-day click instead of a 7-day click and a 1-day view, which is most common. Now, there's this section down here that hasn't been talked about that much at all. Choosing the conversion count. Do you want to see every conversion, meaning if I made 2 purchases, I see both? Or do we want to see the first conversion only, meaning I clicked the ad, I made the purchase, and then if I made 4 more purchases in that same session, I would only see the first. We like to see all because we run e-commerce businesses primarily. Now, the big news here in supporting these new attribution models is starting later this year, we plan to introduce a new opt-in attribution setting that optimizes for and reports on incremental conversions, which are conversions that we believe would not have occurred without the ad being shown. First off, this is necessary. This is critical to Facebook. This is going to deter some advertisers away, and it's going to discourage people because a lot of brands are going to see the amount of incremental returns that they are getting or the amount of incremental conversions they are getting, and they're going to think maybe I shouldn't be advertising on Facebook because it looks like I can get these conversions without Facebook. On the flip side, some brands are going to recognize that this is going to be very, very high, maybe even in the 70s and 80s of percentages. That will be massively impactful. I like their notes here too. To be straightforward here, we haven't gotten such a clear-cut white paper in quite a while from Facebook. Starting later this year, new attribution setting for incremental conversions. This is in contrast to optimizing for volume, which focuses on driving as many total attributed conversions as possible. This setting is designed to shift ad delivery to specifically focus on driving more of those incremental conversions. When we tested this in an experiment earlier this year, advertisers saw an average improvement of more than 20% in incremental conversions. This is what always throws me off about Facebook. Results are based on tests run between January 2024 and June 2024. The experiment compared campaign performance for 45 advertisers across 11 verticals in North America, EMEA, and against the average of conversion lift studies run in H1. This is provided to give you an idea of possible performance, but performance isn't guaranteed. Here's why I don't like this. There are thousands of advertisers that join Facebook every day, and there are hundreds of thousands of advertisers who spend thousands of dollars every single day. I believe this number should be 10 times at least higher than it is. There's no way 45 advertisers are going to be equivalent to the result of the entire industry. Now, to compare this to a different feature that was rolled out and claimed to be great, we saw multi-advertiser ads, which used to have a flag down here that it would improve ad performance by around 5%. They've completely removed that little flag that they used to have here. We also saw this here, which was adding more primary text help. We then also saw this, which is the scariest part, Advantage Plus Creative. You can get a 16% lower cost per result with 4 Advantage Plus Creative enhancements. Now it's a 3%. You know what this means? It means that these enhancements are not good because as they've rolled these out to more and more advertisers, that has regressed back down to the mean. These enhancements are actually not very good, and who they tested it on originally were just outliers, truly. What we see here when it says has improved average incremental conversions by 20%, this is going to basically be a newly supported algorithm, and there's no reason that you need to be a guinea pig in any of this testing. You need to actually know that this is going to work for you, or that many advertisers are seeing this to improve their incremental conversions. There has been such a gold rush for these third-party attribution platforms. We like some of these third-party attribution platforms. We like AdBeacon, we like Triple Whale. Those platforms specifically help with click-through attribution and help you tie different platforms in together. However, merging these into Facebook can be a little tricky. Before making a purchase, people may click or interact with several ads from businesses across a multitude of platforms and publishers. In order to understand what's working and what's not, businesses may use external analytics, aka AdBeacon, Triple Whale, Northbeam, Google Analytics, and so on. We believe that understanding how businesses view what's working and what's not working across their marketing mix can help us optimize for what businesses value. Starting now and continuing into 2025, we plan to introduce the ability for businesses to set up their analytics tools directly to our ad systems through a simple API setup. We plan to start with Google Analytics and Northbeam, and we hope to expand this to Triple Whale and Adobe soon. By integrating their analytics tools, businesses will be able to share aggregated campaign information, such as how many conversions they believe we helped contribute to give a campaign compared to other channels. I think this is a huge red flag. Some people are going to completely disagree with me here. When you think about this on a high level, when you just simply say, we're going to have more data and it's going to inform us on where to insert your ads and so on, and it makes sense and logically it's a sound argument and you want to say, yes, of course, sign me up. Take take a step back here. Facebook's job is ultimately to get into the front of as many people as possible with your advertisement that are most likely to convert. Facebook clearly does an amazing job of this. It's done this for 15 plus years. When we start to invade on what data is available, there's two possible issues that I see. First off, we have UTMs that disappear. We have UTMs that break. We have miscommunicated UTMs. So that's just one little segment of it, which could effectively ruin your entire optimization process. Big issue, this will tank ad accounts if it's done improperly. Second, let's say Northbeam or Google Analytics or Triple Whale or AdBeacon see the meta conversions as less valuable. Therefore, meta is only actually getting 50% of the value. And where the value is coming from is actually not as impactful. What could happen here is a scenario where these third-party attribution platforms could potentially tell Meta where they think the conversions are coming from. And then that could actually change how Meta is bidding. And if those third-party attribution platforms are wrong in any way, shape, or form, that could hurt. The reason this could hurt so much is because the buyer journey is not a straight funnel. So when you think about the buyer journey these days, we've all been taught the classic marketing funnel. And you see ads up here, and these ads are very broad. And then you see ads in the middle of the funnel, and that's where you want to start to tell them about different features of your product. And then the bottom of the funnel, they visited your website. And then at the very, very end of the funnel right here, that's where they convert. This funnel is totally non-existent at this point. Funnel now looks like this. There was a touch point here on Facebook. There was a touch point here on Google. There was a touch point on Facebook. There was a touch point in person. There was a touch point on TV. And there was a touch point somewhere else. 5 touch points in a row. And then after all of these touch points, my buddy sends me a screenshot of a TikTok that says, "You would look good in this hat." Guess what? I made the purchase. That is the new funnel. The new funnel is completely unpredictable. It is so far off from what used to be this nice straight path. That is just not the case anymore. Once social sharing became the dominant way of purchasing, kind of threw a lot of this out of the window. So when we start to integrate different pieces that are more funnel specific, that actually show a funnel and show each touch point is individualized, that could hurt us because the funnel is unpredictable and multiple touch points absolutely could interfere with each other. And then finally, on the improved optimizations portion, this entire section basically says that they're doing better on the cross-publishing journey, which could mean that Facebook's going to do a little bit better job of not just sneaking in at the last second right before someone was about to buy and doing a better job of driving more incremental conversions. I imagine this article alone took Facebook months of refining to get down to these 3 core components that they're changing. I think we're going to see a massive change in the algorithm. I think we're going to see a huge change in how businesses operate. The only thing we have to cross our fingers for is that this does not impact Q4 too heavily. While it's nice to have these features, oftentimes when Facebook rolls out new features and they're used in an uninformed way and they're not carefully used, advertisers sadly become guinea pigs. We saw this in 2020. We saw this in 2021 with iOS 14.5. We saw literal ad accounts deplete overnight. So anyway, I hope this update was helpful. If you have questions, I try to answer every single comment here. So absolutely let me know. And finally, if you want to see our total Facebook structure, everything that we like to do with all the ad accounts that we currently manage at the Moonlighters, you can click the video right here. I'm going to go into deep detail on literally everything that we like to set up, all the structures that we'd like to run through, because yes, some of these changes will be impactful, but to be honest, most of these changes don't mean a thing if you have a completely out of whack structure. And that is all for today. See you guys in the next one.